Okay. Alright, boys. Here we go. This is it, boys. My first... Okay. That started off... Okay, that's gonna start off pretty quickly. So here we go, boys. My first ever reaction stream. This one's gonna be a quick one because I have some things to do, but I was gonna stream for about like 30 minutes or 45 minutes, and then I'm gonna get off. Okay, guys, so... Hang on, let me just check and make sure this works. Okay, that works, that works. Alright, boys. Let me just make sure everything is up and running. Three people watching already. Alright, so, you guys wanna go ahead and text in the chat and say hi. Go ahead. I'm going to do some reaction streams. And the first one we're gonna do is This Needs to Stop by Zinabi. Or Zinabi. So anyways, let's go into it. 3, 2, 1.
What's up, guys? Zanabi up in this bitch, and today we're gonna be talking about furry ASMR. So, this is the story of how I came across furry ASMR. So, one day I was on YouTube looking at videos to watch because I was bored out of my mind, and I come across in my recommended section furry ASMR, and I was like, hell to the fuck no, you're kidding, right? And so I clicked this video out of curiosity, and it was exactly what you would expect from the title, furry ASMR. This isn't the worst of it. This is like kind of a like an easy level of furry ASMR. Just take a look at this and you'll understand what I mean.
Are you okay, human? You lost? Oh, it's okay. I don't bite.
What type of pedophile, demonic shit is this? Please fucking explain to me what this is. This is honestly ridiculous. Like, who does this? Who takes time out of...
Oh, internet. I apologize. Internet's trying to screw me over.
Who takes time out of...
Oh my god, internet. Now's not the fucking time. Now's not the damn time. Come on. I swear to God, this thing's pissing me off. This is really getting on my nerves. Alright, I'm gonna switch this. Oh my god, I swear to fuck. I swear to hell. God.
Video about furry ASMR, them talking to themselves, and this is just fucking horrible. Just watch the next one.
Oh. I mean, I may be a furry, but this is a bit too
Now,
far.
After showing you guys these 2 videos, please, someone fucking explain what this is.
It's hell.
I just love how YouTube demonetizes people and takes away ad revenue from people who curse in their videos. But if a fucking pedophile in a fucking animal suit isn't getting demonetized and can still record on YouTube, this platform is completely fucked. And
Yeah.
let me give you guys some reasoning why this platform is completely fucked. Because pedophiles can create videos of them fidgeting with their microphone, making random fucking sounds, being completely silent. This fucking scares me, dude, honestly.
It does. Yeah, it scares me too.
This is horrible. Who the fuck? Like, who makes this? Who does this? Who created furries? Who created furry ASMR? Who created all this bullshit that goes around on YouTube, not getting demonetized, and fucking people can make whatever they want. And before anyone that's a furry gets offended because of this video, all I gotta say is you're a fucking pedophile, okay? Seriously.
Really?
You're a pedophile. Like, please stop. This furry nonsense, this furry nonsense needs to stop. Like, honestly, this is fucking weird. Who enjoys this? The 50,000 people that watched that video and the 7.5 thousand people that watched the other video need to realize what the fuck they're watching and why are they watching it. Like, I understand ASMR is supposed to relax people,
Yeah.
but when you bring fursuits and furries into this shit, now you got 2 weird things combined together, and it just makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
Yeah, it really
I
doesn't.
hope this ends soon. Now, these are just the last things I have to say about furry ASMR, and then I'll be done with you guys, and you guys can go watch some furry ASMR for yourself.
Please don't.
But all I gotta say is, fucking kill me.
Okay. Well said, Zenaba.
Yo, what's up, guys? Zanabi up in this.
Zanabi. Well said, Zanabi. Zanabi. Well said, my friend. Well said. Well said. I mean, I'm a furry myself, but... Really? Furry ASMR? Like, that is pedophilic. That is so wrong. Like, dude, honestly, I can understand that why people want to do furry ASMR, but really? 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 They go and actually act all pedophilic? Dude, this is such a good video. And it's a good way to get a good message saying, stop with the furry ASMR, please. Oh, goodness. Did I like it? Look at that like on your video, bud. Damn right I liked it. Let me tell you something, bud. This makes sense. I could understand that... I could understand why you wanted me to see this. Because this... Yeah. Furry ASMR, that's a bit too far. I mean, furries, it's... Furries, with people being furries, I'm fine with them being furries. But if you're doing furry ASMR that is pedophilic, that's wrong. Like, I don't get with YouTube demonetizing people who just cuss and have offensive slurs when there's comedians over here going on Netflix and they're making lots and lots of money just for being offensive. And yet when people try that on YouTube, immediately demonetized. And yet furries over here who are being pedophilic can still make money just for being pedophilic. I mean, I support the furry community, but whenever it comes to furries being pedophilic, you're not even a part of the furry community. You're just a creep and just a disgusting pedophile. Zanabi, Well said. 10 out of 10. I might actually tweet about this. But they might actually take this in the wrong way. But, eh. No problem, bud. So, let's see. What could be the next, what should be the next reaction video? So, guys, I got any suggestions on what I should watch next? Not, I might actually end the stream now. But, I want to react to something. I want to react to something funny. Again, Zanami, thank you for suggesting that video. Because, like, you actually need... I actually needed to see that. Because that was... Yeah, that was actually kind of disgusting. That was really... That was a really good message. Okay, what should I react to next? Let's go back to the face cam. While I search up a couple of videos to react to. Oh, there's this thing called 3 More Disturbing Field Trip Horror Stories by Mr. Nightmare. Okay, I guess I can react to that. I haven't even watched it yet. Guess it's gonna be my first time reacting to Mr. Nightmare. Zanabi, also, remember the deal? Just kidding, bud. You can do whatever you want. But... Still. That was a good video. That was an amazing video. You know what? Hold on. Come on. Did not mean to do that. But still, Zanabi. That was such a brilliant video. I will put that in the chat. That deserves a place in the chat. Okay, so I shall now do a reaction on 3 most disturbing field trip stories. So, by Mr. Nightmare. Also, guys, if there's anybody still watching and who is not Zanabi, make sure you subscribe to him because he made a pretty good video. Like, honestly, go support him. He needs to get more popular, bud. He really needs to get more popular. Also, make sure you go subscribe to Mr. Nightmare because I will be reacting to his video right now. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into it. Damn it. Just refresh the page. Viewers will experience buffering. Well, yeah, I need better internet. Alright. Here we go.
In 7th grade, we took an end-of-the-year field trip to an aquarium near school. It was called Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies. We live in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, a literal
You know, guys, I'm going
town
darkness.
with nothing but hills and mountains as far as the eyes can see. Our science teacher, Mr. Russo, was our chaperone for the trip. He was a very lax teacher.
Is that a mosasaurus?
So while other teacher chaperones were more uptight and strict with their groups, Mr. Russo was more chill about his job. That may seem like a good thing, but because of his lackadaisical approach at supervising, my friend Aiden and I were able to easily bail from the aquarium lobby away from the rest of the groups. We quite simply didn't want to wait so long for all the groups to move. The whole aquarium was empty, except for our classes, so when Aiden and I walked through the passageways, or I guess observation areas as you would say, before everyone else, we didn't see anyone else. We got the best views at all the big fish tanks and habitats. We moved on to the next dark room, all of which were lit up with a dark blue tint from the fish tanks, by the way. This room had a lot of big tanks with tropical fish. We were making jokes about finding Nemo fish, like clownfish and the dory fish, and that's when I remember someone calling "hey" to us in a very assertive, commanding voice. It was some guy in cargo shorts and a green t-shirt. He asked us if we were with the field trip. I was about to shake my head no, but Aiden said yes. The man told us to come with him right now. We both assumed he worked for the aquarium, so we followed. He wasn't leading us back to the lobby, though. He was leading us through some narrow, dark hallways. I remember passing the bathrooms and a few exit signs hanging on the ceiling before reaching an exit door. He led us outside to some back area, I guess by the woods. I finally asked if he worked there and where he was leading us. He said yes, he did work there, and that he had to drive us back around to the front of the aquarium in order to be let back in. It made just as much sense back then as it does now. But we were two nervous 7th graders who thought we were about to get in serious trouble. So when he led us to his car, we willingly got in the back seats. He told us to strap in, and he pulled out from the back parking lot and onto the street. Just as we thought he was going to make a right turn towards the front, he turned left. Right away, both Aiden and I asked him where he was going at the same time.
Dude, you already have clucked up by just stepping into the car.
He didn't answer that question, but about 5 seconds later, we heard the locks to the back doors click down, and he made some kind of threat along the lines of, "If either of you try to make any moves, I'll kill you." He then proceeded to slide out what appeared to be a big knife in his glove box as some kind of threat.
Shit.
Aiden and I sat in silence. I'm sure he wanted to throw up just like I wanted to. We had to think of a way to escape, but we couldn't talk to each other because the man kept looking in the rearview mirror every other second. He was driving us uphill through some woodsy, isolated neighborhood until he finally pulled over onto the side of the road in what appeared to be the middle of nowhere. No houses, no through traffic. He told us to stay in the car as he got out, with his knife in his hand. I whispered to Aiden to be prepared to run as soon as I said to. The man came to my door, popped it open, and told me to step out. He told
I'm reacting to Foxtron. I'm reacting to Mr. Nightmare's newest video.
me to tell my friend that if he wants me alive, he better be in the car by the time we got back.
You better
I
haul
felt a deepening
ass.
feeling in my stomach when I heard that. The man started walking me to the woods with the knife probably in his pocket to do God knows what. I saw Aiden sliding over to my side of the car, which had an unlocked door, and when he seemed ready to run, I screamed, "Run!" Aiden was off already, running downhill. I easily dodged the man as I fled past him, following Aiden. The man tried chasing us on foot, and I'm not even kidding when I say he threw the knife at me. He missed with only maybe a few inches to spare. I heard the clanging of the knife hitting the ground ahead of me.
Grab that bitch!
I didn't stop to pick it up. I just kept running downhill in the direction we came. The man stopped following after throwing the knife. I think he got back in his car and fled the scene. We somehow managed to make it back to the aquarium in under an hour, and we also managed to sneak back into the group. Mr. Russo didn't even notice. Aiden and I decided to keep quiet about what just happened. What purpose would it serve getting ourselves in trouble, given that there was relatively no chance of that man getting caught? As we got older, we started to wonder more and more what the intentions of that man were. We could obviously think of a few likely ones, but either way, we kept quiet about it and don't really like to think about it.
Ugh.
When I was in 8th grade, all of my classmates and I looked forward to our Washington, D.C. field trip. The thrill of going on any sort of trip with your friends was enough to excite us. After all preparations, we were ready for DC. Once we arrived to our destination, my class of around 100 students were partitioned off into 3 groups, and within these groups were our 3 other hotel mates. Each group was sent off in different coach buses, and we would be taken to different attractions throughout DC, neighboring states, monuments, parks, food stops, museums, and more. After a long weekend of visiting educational sites, our teachers decided to treat us to a colonial ghost tour one night. It was an evening walking tour through some of America's historical sites near village cemeteries and old townhomes. I don't remember exactly which city we were in, but I remember the guides telling us that many of the empty homes were preserved due to their historical significance. I've always been scared of most things related to ghosts and such, but I was positive that nothing would happen in our ghost tour. We split off into smaller groups of around 10 members each, and were instructed to carry around a camera if we wished. The guide kept telling us not to expect much from the tour, that there would most likely be nothing supernatural during the course of the evening. As we wandered from colonial home to cemetery plot to colonial home, I just took interest in the histories that the guides would share of each home. They would indulge us in the stories of each homeowner, while my friends would snap away at photos.
I think I'm the only one watching Foxtron.
One of my friends, Jessica, that I was sharing a room with during that trip, was not one of the kids that were constantly taking pictures. She would take a photograph every once in a while, but spent most of the time listening. My group reached a small 2-story home in the middle of the street.
Why does that look like a pair of
The house had an ominous blue hue to the windows, but the house was vacant.
2424.
I remember being very curious about this home. The tour guide began to tell us a little bit about the house. She had mentioned that the home had originally belonged to a man and his beautiful wife. He adored his wife, and the couple was thrilled to receive news that they would be expecting a child. Unfortunately, the wife had died after giving birth to a baby girl. The man was absolutely devastated and grew to resent his homely daughter. During her childhood, he kept her in the house as much as he could. He reminded her about how homely she looked and could not find her a suitor. Feeling that she had no other purpose, he had his daughter learn how to sew and weave upstairs, using her only good attribute, her hands. After hearing this story, I remember the sorrow that I felt for this girl. She and her father must have lived unhappily in that house until their deaths. My friend Jessica took a photograph of the house, and we both moved on to the next house. I kept walking until Jessica stopped and became silent, looking down in her digital camera screen. I walked over and scanned the photograph. I saw a gleam coming from the edge of the second floor window on the right. I had her zoom on the scene. After zooming in, you could clearly see 3 figures staring out from the window.
Oh, hell no!
The translucent outline of a woman. A taller man was standing behind her to the side. Even more curiously, there was a third figure. It appeared to be a woman, but she was harder to make out. The body was there for sure, but her skin was not as clear. Jessica and I freaked out. The first woman and man made sense to me. That would explain the man and his daughter. But who was this third dark woman off the side?
The wife?
I raised my hand and had to ask the guide, was there ever another person that lived with this family at the house we just looked at? The guide looked surprised at my question and answered, yeah. During the time of their residence, they had a black female servant living with them.
Holy hell! Holy hell!
Senior year of high school.
Okay, first off, boy. Why does that even exist? Why does that even exist? You're not gonna, like, place dynamite around it and then blow that bitch up? Could you at least blow it up? Nightmare, if you get in here with more dead memes, I'm gonna kick you out. Burger King foot lettuce, really.
Stevenson somehow convinced the school to let him take us on a field trip to some abandoned building in the woods that was the site of a major crime scene. I think he might have finessed it a bit and made the school think we'd just be studying the perimeter and outside of the building, but we did much more than that. Mainly, it used to be a drug den. When we got there, I realized how frighteningly tall the building actually was, and its location was just surreal, surrounded by forest in every direction, and the only road that leads up to it is a road you would never think to drive down just because of the grass growing in the street. Since our current topic at the time of our class
So
was
guys, just a reminder, if I'm watching scary stuff and if something appears behind me, if something appears behind me, you let me know, okay?
dealing with drugs,
I'll be ready to whoop someone's
Stevenson
ass.
led us into the
Unless it's
abandoned
my
building.
cousins and
He
my
gave a tour
brother.
of the place as if he'd been there many times before. He seemed to know quite a bit of history about the building. For example, that the actual original purpose of the building was unknown. Apparently construction on the higher levels wasn't even finished before the building was abandoned. Its location and size made it ideal for drug deals and other illegal activity to take place, which surprised all of us since there we were, inside of this apparent former drug den for a school field trip.
I fucking hate you,
Mr.
Nightmare.
Stevenson was so laxed about this trip that he didn't even notice when a couple students wandered off to explore on their own,
You see something in black?
or maybe he just didn't care. Given that a few other students did it, me and my friend Gianna, or G, decided to go off on our own too. And yes, I'm a guy. I just so happened to have a really close friend that was a girl back in high school.
Hey.
There had to be at least 8 floors in this building, but we saw from the outside the top few floors looked unfinished. I basically forced G to come all the way upstairs with me to the top
Why?
few floors. Worst came to worst, we wouldn't be able to find the group again, and we just returned to the bus right outside. We climbed the stairs, one flight after another. It was weird. As we reached the middle floors, the amount of debris and graffiti lessened a bit, but then as we got to the higher floors, there was even more graffiti and litter than the lower floors. Then things got sketchy. It seemed we were on the second highest floor, and everything on this floor was still just wood foundation. A lot of it seemed
Timmy,
to be
you can
rotting.
stay here. You can
There were a
keep the
lot of
music
holes up
muted.
there.
You can keep it muted.
We would have gone up to the last floor.
Timmy, you don't
but
have to
the
be
stairs
scared.
had been completely stripped and broken.
Hi, fun time.
Basically, there were no stairs to the last floor. There had to be a way up there, though. So we watched our step for weak wood as we navigated the floor. Then, Gianna grabbed my shoulder and stopped me. She pointed up at a hole in the ceiling and said she saw something.
No,
Then
it's
there
time
was
to
a
haul
ticking
ass.
noise. Like the kind of ticking noise a person makes when they're calling their cat or something.
No, no,
Followed
no,
by
no.
that, someone's arm came into view from the hole above us. Just their arm, though. And judging by the position of the arm, whoever's arm it was must have been laying down flat on the floor beside the hole. They had a long black sleeve on, so the only skin that was visible was their hand. G was scared. I laughed a little at first, but I'm not going to say it wasn't slightly unnerving. Gianna started telling me let's go back down. I started calling up to the person, how do we get up there? They didn't answer. Instead, they just kept making the ticking noise and waving us up. That's when things started getting really creepy. And
Boy, I'm more pissed off that you're not getting your ass out of that place. I'm more pissed off you're not hauling ass.
agreed with G that we should go back down. Right after I said this, the person pulled their arm out from the hole, and we heard the sound of a shoe quickly scrape the wood foundation above us, as the person was clearly getting up. We couldn't see, though. I nudged Gianna to move. I was creeped out and just wanted to get back down. As we were about to leave the main open layout room and back into the stairway corridor, there was a crash far behind us. We turned and saw a man on the complete opposite side of the room, facing the wall. It seemed he just jumped through one of the holes. He then quickly turned his head to look at us, without moving his body. There was something about his face and clothing. He didn't look like the typical urban exploration type. He looked dangerous and unstable. G and I ran for it now, down one flight of stairs at a time.
6 out. 6
3
out.
flights down, I looked up the long corridor above us and saw the man at top looking down at me. I yelled go to Gianna.
6 out.
Going down. Like 5 flights later, I looked up again, and there was the man again, looking down at me. This time he seemed much closer, and I just realized he'd been chasing us.
Get your
I got
ass
to
out of
the
that
bottom,
place.
And I looked up one more time, and I didn't see him this time.
6
We
out.
heard the voice of Mr. Stevenson nearby, and I kind of started to laugh about what just happened. Not exactly because I found it funny, but because I was just happy that we made it back safely. She was not laughing, though. She was genuinely disturbed.
I would be too.
We found Mr. Stevenson, who asked where we were, and we told the truth about what just happened. He was pretty mad at us, but given what we just told him, he also advised we should leave the building. The other kids who wandered off had returned, and when we got to the bus, Mr. Stevenson did a head count like 3 times. Overall, the trip wasn't a failure for the rest. The other kids did learn things about the building and drugs, but for my friend Gianna and I, really, it was the most horrific thing we ever went through.
Dude. Dude, I'll be honest. When it comes to scary videos like this, I get ready to jump out of a place. I get ready to jump. I just get ready to move. Let's turn these lights back on. Okay, guys, so what should I react to next? Should I react to TimmyTube? You want me to react to you? Okay, let's check your channel out. Okay. Let's look around. Vines that make me walk on water. So what else do you guys want me to react to? Cuphead musical. Something that I gotta react to something that'll like make me. I've already seen the Resident Evil 7 intro, bud. I'm not going through that hell again. Okie dokie. Let me go ahead and see what Mr. Nightmare has, and let me see what scary things I could watch. Three horrific stories that happened while playing Fortnite. School lockdown stories. Babysitting. Night shift. Fuck the night shift. 6 disturbing and dark experiments. I'm not gonna watch Blasphemous AC's Try Not to Laugh because he uses foul language that even I can't put on my channel, and I'll probably get striked. It's like they've already ruined him. Racist YouTube bastards. Seriously though. Who has Discord? I do. SnapMap. Let's see, Nartuda, welcome back, buddy. Running in the 90s, I can't do that, but I'll get a copyright claimant. I can't react to anything that like has music that'll have copyright claimants, possibly at risk of copyright strikes. I don't want that because YouTube's just be retarded with its copyright system. Everyone knows that it's broken. Where's, okay, this is a lot of them. This is a lot of scary stuff. So I'm gonna click on a random video. Summer camp. Alright. And it's a picture from Friday the 13th. The Venom trailer. Wait, really? Hold on. Okay.
You should be extremely afraid.
I hope I don't get a copyright claim for this. I'm not going to be uploading this stream.
It is a moment that so many have dreamed of claiming. History starts today.
Not MCU.
The guy you work for is an evil person.
I don't work for him. My firm works for him. Are you gonna behave yourself tomorrow?
I told you I'm gonna do my job. I'm a reporter. I follow people that do not want to be followed.
What about the allegations that you recruit the most vulnerable for tests that end up killing people?
Your time to go.
You finished, Mr. Broad?
Was that a threat?
You had to learn how to hide in plain sight. I'm pretty good at it. But you suck. Whoever you are.
I work at the Life Foundation, and I need your help. We found something. We call them symbiotes. Carlton Drake believes that the union between human and symbiote is the key to our evolution.
Oh.
I'm feeling really sick. I'm hearing a voice.
Eddie.
You're not real. You were just in my head.
I'm gonna need Mr. Drake's property back.
I don't know. Why would we do that? If you're gonna stay, you will only hurt bad people.
The way I see it,
Terrorists.
we can do whatever we want. Do we have a deal?
Are you willing to sacrifice the one thing you hold most dear? You should be extremely afraid. What the hell are you?
We are Venom.
Alright, that was a bit brutal, but that's awesome. That's awesome. I like it. I really like it. I like it. That's awesome. SpongeBob roast comps. Okay. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not gonna do that because I uploaded some SpongeBob related stuff and it got a copyright claim it from Nickelodeon and they were getting money off of it. Fuck you, Nickelodeon. Let's go to its channels. Llama Arts. Okay, I guess I'm gonna do... I think I'll do this one. Alright, guys. Here we go. I'm gonna do this in the dark.
I was out doing a delivery one late night. It was probably the longest drive I had ever taken for a pizza delivery. From the pizza place I worked at, it was a 20-minute drive, which isn't too crazy out where I live. Plus, they ordered 4 large pies, so I figured it was a party and I would get a much bigger tip.
That's dope.
Navigating the dirt roads at night was always annoying, though. I pulled up to the given address. It was some old, sketchy-looking building, literally in the middle of a forest clearing. There were no cars parked anywhere, or any lights on. I put my car in park and called my boss. I asked him to reread the address at least 3 times to make sure I typed it in right, but that checked out. I could tell he was in a really bitchy mood, and he told me to at least knock on the door and check it out. He would normally get mad if we took back 1 pie, but I was afraid of what he would do if I brought back 4.
My resolution.
I was insanely
quality.
unnerved,
I just realized the
but
quality
got
on my
out anyway
stream is
and
pretty
forced
bad.
myself to the front door of the building. There was no doorbell, so I just knocked really hard. I heard nothing and didn't really expect to hear anything. I was extremely disappointed, not because nobody answered the door, but because I was realizing that it was all a waste of time and gas. I knocked 1 more time out of desperation, and then began to hear some kind of rustling noises from inside of the building. I knocked again and yelled that I was the pizza guy. There was silence now. I felt a bit more uncomfortable now than before. But before I could turn around, I noticed something at the window. There was someone looking through the window. I couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman. All I noticed were their eyes. Their eyes were open wider than I knew possible, staring intently at me.
Ugh.
I was disturbed enough by this and dropped the pizzas and ran back to my car. The shitty thing wouldn't start until turning the key for the 3rd time. I drove off the grass and back onto the dirt road, but I felt the car rocking about, shaking and bumping. Something wasn't right. I didn't make it far from the building before I started hearing a sharp scraping sound coming from outside. There was so much resistance that I couldn't even drive. The car came to a stop. I got out of the car to check what the hell was wrong. A chill ran up my spine as I began to feel like my heart was constantly skipping beats. My tires had been slashed and had completely fallen off the rim. Not just the front though. All 4 tires were slashed. I realized somebody did this when I was knocking on the door to that building. Instead of running, I got back in the car and locked the doors. I was so close to that building, I could practically see it from where I was, if it weren't for the trees blocking the view. I dialed 911 and explained everything to the operator. She told me the cops would be over as soon as possible and that I need to stay hidden. I asked her if it was advisable to stay in the car or run, and she told me it would be best to stay in the car with the door locked. She asked me to stay on the line with her until the cops arrived. My whole body was shaking. In all directions, there was nothing but dark, seemingly endless forest. I knew it would take forever for the cops to get there. I was not comfortable with sitting in that car so close to whoever did this. The next part, though, is what utterly destroyed me. It still shakes me to this day, and I hope nobody ever has to experience this kind of fear.
What?
As I was scanning all the windows, making sure nobody was outside, I looked in the rearview mirror, and there was the same person. The same person I saw at that window. Eyes open wider than ever. I could see now that it was a woman, and I could ever so slightly see a smile begin to spread across her face.
Hell no.
I opened my door and full-on sprinted into the woods.
Yeah, run out of that
much
bitch
noise I
and
made.
run straight into that damn woods.
I ran until I was out of breath, which didn't take long, and I hid behind a giant log on the ground. I tried to cover my loud breathing with my hand, as I waited and waited for what felt like hours, until I finally heard sirens in the distance. I gathered up all the stamina I had left to run all the way back in the direction of the dirt road.
Stamina.
Eventually, the glowing red and blue lights came into view, and I had never felt better in my life. They were parked in front of my car, investigating with flashlights. I came out yelling at them like a lunatic to help me. I fell to the floor and started to gag, almost throwing up from running so much. They picked me up and began to question me, to which I explained everything to the best of my ability. One of the 2 cars drove over to the building, and the 2 officers began to search the building.
Swear to God, this
They came
fly is
back with
pissing me
nothing
off.
except for a couple of spiky objects. These objects were exactly the same as the ones used to slash my tires. The cops guessed that it was some kind of sick, demented couple, being that I saw the woman, but unfortunately they were never found.
Damn it.
And that still kills me to this day. I obviously quit my job right after that and started working at a local grocery store. I know that I'll never forget seeing that woman at the back of my car.
Oh my God, I saw that. I saw that. I saw that. I ain't stupid. I'm not stupid. I saw that.
I recently moved out, and I already have a horror story to tell. The house I moved into isn't anything impressive, it's just a house that's appropriate for 1 or 2 people. But I'd say right away, I started hearing weird sounds coming from inside the walls. I first heard it in the kitchen, and then in the bathroom, but on night 3, I started hearing it in my bedroom. I was sure there was some kind of animal living in my walls. I just had to figure out how to get rid of it. The next morning, I didn't even have enough milk to fill the bowl of cereal. I couldn't believe I hadn't realized I needed more milk. In fact, I seemed to be eating up all of my food pretty fast. I woke up in the middle of that night to the sound of breathing. Not my breathing. It sounded just like the breathing of a person. I flipped the lamp on and it stopped. I chalked it up as my mind playing tricks on me after waking up. The next day...
Oh my God.
It was really hot, so I turned on the AC for the first time. I
Alright.
checked every single vent, and some of them weren't blowing any air. One of them being the vent right...
I swear to God, internet.
next to my bed.
There we
I
go.
peered through the vent with a flashlight. There wasn't even a duct behind the vent. It was just the inside of the wall. It seemed that whatever air duct was in there had been removed. Unfortunately, I didn't look into the air conditioning system while buying the house, so I didn't know about this. That night, I had to sleep in the heat with no AC, so I was up pretty late, constantly rolling around and flipping the pillow over. Then, I eventually started to hear the breathing again, but this time, I was fully awake. I knew it was real this time. It was coming to my left. I looked to my left at the air vents. The sound was surely coming from in there. I grabbed the flashlight again and shined it in through the vent. I dropped it and screamed. There was someone's face peering through the cracks of the vents. The first thing I saw were their eyes, open wide and glowing. I screamed all the way down and out the house.
Get out of that damn house.
I soon found out there was a crazy, dangerous homeless man living in my walls, and he had been eating my food ever since I moved in.
Ew. Oh God, honey.
I was doing some night hog hunting in the woods near my backyard. I was hiding in the tower I had built about a decade ago. In case anyone's wondering, I of course had a night vision scope attachment. I guess I'm what you would consider a hardcore hunter. I don't want to bore you with the unnecessary story prolonging details, so I'll make this short. And I want everyone to know that though I agree this story sounds far-fetched and crazy, it is nothing but the truth. and I in a way actually consider myself lucky that I'll always have such a horrifying story to share.
Despacito 2. Say that
while I
one more
was
time
sitting
and
in
you're
the
getting your
tower
ass
waiting
banned.
for movement, it finally came. I took aim and found the source, but it wasn't at all a hog
This
or any
fly
kind
is
of animal
pissing
I
me
was
off.
expecting. It was a person, a man wearing all black. Black sweatpants, black shoes, and a black hoodie with the hood over his head. But that wasn't the freakiest part. He was dragging a sack behind him. My heart started racing. I was pretty sure I was witnessing this guy trying to bury a body. I continued to watch him, but then he slowed down, and I swear to God, it looked as if he turned his head up to me. I ducked down under the wooden walls of the tower, shaking in my boots. Yes, I had a gun, but just the idea of using it against a person is horrifying. I lay low, praying to God that he hadn't seen me. It wouldn't make sense if he could, though. It's practically pitch black out here. Or at least, that was my logic.
I'm gonna get up to about 23 minutes and then I'm gonna end the
Seconds
stream.
felt like an eternity as I waited for the footsteps in the leaves to move elsewhere, but I didn't hear any footsteps. All I heard was the sound of a foot hitting one of the wooden planks on the ladder of the tower. I felt the entire tower vibrate and shake as there were 2 more steps moving up the ladder.
You better get
At
ready
this
to shoot
point,
that
I was
bitch.
asking myself deep down, am I going to be able to shoot someone?
Yeah.
But for some reason, whoever was down there decided not to climb all the way up, as I heard them jump back down to the forest ground and began dragging the sack away. I think I stayed frozen like a statue for at least 10 minutes before even peeking over the ledge again. The coast seemed clear. I had to get home and warn the police immediately. I hopped over the ledge and descended down the ladder. I turned on my pocket flashlight, which in hindsight was a stupid move considering the situation, and ran back in the direction of my house. I was only able to run for about 10 seconds or so when I heard the rapid, manic footsteps crunching the leaves from behind me.
Shoot him!
I took a look over my shoulder, and there he was, inches away from my face.
You shoot him!
I spun around and shot him in the shoulder.
There you go.
He stopped and screamed in agony, and I took that moment to finish my dash to my house. Again, in hindsight, I should have held him hostage somehow, but that doesn't even matter now. I called the police, who showed up within 15 minutes with a whole search squad, and I led them all into the woods to the exact location where I shot him. There was a faint yet noticeable blood trail spilled onto the leaves, which led past the body bag, which the cops seized, and eventually right to the maniac, who was hiding under a log next to a tree. He was arrested and tried for the
This is pissing me off.
murder of Jin-Quen Sakanaki, a Japanese corner store owner. I don't know the full story behind it, but I do know I won't forget this one for the rest of my life, and I'll also be telling it for the rest of my life. I'll never forget the time me and my brother snuck out past our bedtimes to explore an allegedly haunted house down the block. Yes, I said bedtime, as I was only 10 and my brother Luke was only 12. When our parents said goodnight to us, I went to Luke's room and we took a couple hand-powered flashlights with us and hopped outside through the window.
Oh wait, I've already seen
Luckily,
this. I've already seen this part. I've already seen this animation.
This story took place a long time ago, back in 2002, when Craigslist was in its early years. Many wouldn't know, but back in those days, Craigslist was a lot different. It was a lot more so an online garage sale, or just a place where people would list old things that still had some value that they were willing to give away. I got a basketball hoop, a hockey net, and a spoiler for my car, all free in perfect condition in that same year.
Damn.
You'd be lucky if you found something like that these days. Anyway, me and my son were dying to buy a hockey net so we could practice in the cul-de-sac we lived in. For the record, this was before I got that free one I mentioned. Wouldn't you know it, on Craigslist there was an ad for a slightly used regulation-size hockey goal for only $50. It came with a puck and 2 slightly used hockey sticks. I still have a picture of that ad to this day.
It's not bad.
It seemed like the perfect deal, but he lived about 2 hours away.
That's the same kid. That's the same kid. Hold on. That's the same kid. It is. That is
I
the
called the
same
number
kid.
he had listed, and he sounded pretty normal on the phone. He had a pretty deep, dark voice, but nothing that would be off-putting. I remember his voice being a bit emotionless. He agreed to meet halfway due to the distance, said he'd put the stuff in the back of his pickup truck. He said he could only come after he got off from work though, which was much later in the day, way past dark. We agreed to meet at some rest stop off the highway. Me and my son, who was 11 at the time, took my wife's minivan, the only car that would be able to fit that huge thing. Within an hour, we were at the truck stop, which was empty at this hour, but was decently lit by 3 big light posts. I parked right under one of the lights and waited. A pickup truck pulled in off the highway right on time. He stopped right in front of me. I went over to his window, but then noticed there was nothing in the back of his truck. "You Steve?" he asked me. "Yep, that's me," I said.
Okay.
Alright, my buddy's bringing in the stuff with his truck.
No,
The guy pulled up behind my car
no.
put it in park. I suddenly had a bad feeling. I told my son to get back in the car and lock every door except mine. 2 more pairs of headlights came off the highway into the lots, surely enough pulling up next to me. And, not surprisingly at this point, there was no hockey equipment in either one of them. My heart was racing. I was worried. Not for me, but for my young son who I for some reason brought with me on this trip. A group of large men mixed with heavy-set and muscular physiques stepped out of the 2 pickup trucks behind the first one. They eyed me from head to toe, giving that typical intimidation stare down. Then this bald guy wearing sunglasses said in a deep voice, "Where's the money?"
Say my name. You get it? He legit looks like Walter White from Breaking Bad.
I instantly pulled out my wallet and handed it to him, begging him to just let me and my son go. He pulled out like $100 and was pissed, expecting more. He then sent 2 of his goons or whatever to get my son. At this point, I screamed and begged for him not to take him.
You begged for him? You begged for him not to take your son? Such a useless father.
One of the
Bro, I'm gonna be honest. If I was in this situation, I wouldn't even be in it. I would never have even. By the time he said that my buddy's bringing in the stuff with his truck, I would have said, "Oh shit, my wife is." I would have been like, "Oh shit, my wife just broke her leg." I would have made up the lie that was the most convincing lie ever, saying my wife just fell down the stairs and she can't move, or like something like, or that. Maybe like, my wife is going into labor right now. Saying that my wife is going into labor, and I'll immediately speed off.
The men broke the glass to the minivan back door, and I vividly remember the disturbing, heartbreaking screams of my young son. What happened next was what I can only explain to be a miracle from God answering my prayers. A car was entering the lot from off the highway. All the men stopped and turned to look at it. As it got closer, my heart literally dropped in excitement as I saw it was a police car. The lights suddenly began to flash as he got close enough to see what was going on. All of the men were back in their trucks within seconds, speeding off down the highway. Well, at least 2 of them. The truck in the back was caught immediately by the police car, and backup arrived shortly. I explained everything to them, and they got the men that were caught to rat out on the others surprisingly quickly. I guess luckily the guys in the back truck weren't very loyal to whoever their leader was, if they even had any type of leader. Believe it or not, I had a police escort all the way home to make me and my son feel safer. I don't want to get into all the legal stuff, but I'll just say that all of those men except for one was caught, and I'm pretty sure that was the driver of the first pickup truck. Needless to say, my Craigslist days weren't over at that point, but I have always been much more protective of my son and much more cautious of Craigslist meetings since then.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. You are a mod, Benny. Mr. Nightmare, I love you. And I think you make awesome content, but if you keep on making sound effects like this, you're gonna scare the shit out of me. Oh, I've seen this one too.
There was once an isolated island
animation
off the coast of Scotland where 3 lighthouse keepers lived and were responsible for keeping the building intact. A person went to sleep. To pass the time, I used to go for long walks and spend the time thinking. I spent 4 years like that, walking alone at night, and never once had a reason to feel afraid. I always used to joke with my roommates that even the drug dealers in the city were polite. But all of that changed in just a few minutes of one evening. It was—
But I have seen this. Turns out I have seen this. When will I be back on? I'm not gonna be on tonight. Okay. Okay.
I was looking for a car to buy for my son for his 18th birthday.
Alright. This is it. This is it. Wait, is this one about porn?
Vintage I was on Tor trying to find some really deep
Please,
websites.
I swear, if this is about porn,
I was in a chat room where people normally shared links to deeper websites and weird pictures and videos, commonly illegal pornography.
You're going on tour to the deep web, really? That's your first mistake, bud. Never, ever, ever, ever go on the deep web.
Some guy named Vintage XXX posted a link without describing what it was. I clicked on it, and it took me to a black screen where a big video box eventually popped up with a play button.
Don't play that.
The video thumbnail was a dark room, only lit by a TV screen. Out of curiosity, I clicked play, and began to hear the sound of TV static in the background as lines of static slowly swam down the video screen. There was no seek bar in this video. Then, I noticed something slowly begin to emerge from behind the wall. It was a figure dressed in all black with some kind of black mask on as well. I started to suspect it was a jump scare video, and I thought I was right when the figure leaped out and ran to the screen in less than a second. It still got me, even though I was expecting it, but then it got strange. The person had their face in front of the screen, slowly moving around as if he could see me and was observing me. Then I heard a crackly, demonic voice say something. It came from the video. It repeated itself, and I could make the phrase out to be, "Ask me something." I was really confused. I tried typing something, but there was nowhere to enter text. Then he said, "No, not the keyboard. Say something." I felt my heart punch the inside of my chest as he said this. I opened my mouth and mumbled the words, "You can hear me?" It responded with, "Yes." I was uncomfortable now. I thought it was a video. I pressed pause, but it didn't do anything. He said, "Don't try to leave. I want to talk." I tried moving the mouse to the exit button, but the mouse was frozen. In fact, none of the keys were responding on my keyboard. There was a long moment of silence before my webcam began flashing as if it were on, and my face popped up on the screen. "There, I got a picture of you now. Now just hang on while I get your address, and then we can meet." I started to panic, smashing every key on the keyboard, spazzing the mouse, but it did nothing.
Bruh, if you can't close the bitch, throw the bitch. Understand? If you can't close the bitch, yeet the bitch. Understand? If I was in this situation, I would take my nearest object and destroy that damn laptop. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even be in this situation right now because I'm not stupid enough to go on the deep web. I'm not stupid.
I had my finger on the power button, but it also didn't do anything.
Break the bitch!
The computer wouldn't turn off. The voice was saying crazy things like, "You're stuck here. I will find you. Don't even bother."
Smash the bitch!
I snatched the screwdriver sitting on my desk, unscrewed the 4 screws on the bottom of my laptop, and took out the battery. The computer finally turned off.
Finally!
I was gasping for air as if I just ran a marathon. My heart was pounding 5 times as fast as it should have. I have since left my laptop off after that, and have resorted to using my desktop as my main computer. I'm sure by now nothing will happen. He definitely didn't have enough time to get my address.
Is that him under the bed? The toy closet.
It was very common for me to be home alone at night, as I only lived with my dad, and his shifts would constantly shift from days to nights. This happened around the time my dad was doing night shifts. I would stay up really late on these nights watching movies. It's always taken me a long time to fall asleep, so after turning off the TV to go to sleep, I probably laid there for a good half hour. Then, I heard a toy fall over in my toy closet. It was nothing too suspicious, but it still creeped me out. But then, the doorknob to my closet started to wiggle, until finally unlocking the door. I hid under my covers, not making a sound. It was strangely quiet for a good 2 minutes, so I finally peeked my head out of the covers. There was a figure standing next to my bed, looking down at me. I screamed at the top of my lungs and began hugging the...
Okay. Alright, okay.
wall behind me. The figure looked out the window and then just walked away out of the room. I stayed in that position for like an hour before checking if he was really gone. The front door was left wide open, so it seemed he had left. I didn't get a minute of sleep that night.
Yeah, I bet you'd be terrified. I'd be terrified too. Teenage
This
stalker,
story is from
oh
the
boy.
point of view of a 16-year-old girl. I used to have a boy living next door to me that was obsessed with me. His name was Joey. Every time I would go outside, Joey would come outside as well, as if he were watching me through his windows, waiting for me. He was 17 and very weird, and he didn't seem to have any friends, as he was always home. I tried to give every sign possible that I didn't like this guy, but he wouldn't get the message. So I had to finally just tell him one day that I don't like him and to leave me alone. The look on his face that day is something that won't leave me. It was the kind of angry look a toddler gives their parents when they can't have a toy.
I'll be honest, this guy looks kind of like... He looks like a mix between he's about to go Super Saiyan, but he also looks like he's just... It looks like a kid. With the description that Mr. Nightmare just gave. A face that a kid can't have a toy. I'll be honest, that's a pretty good accurate depiction. When it's a kid who does that, it's normal, but when it's an adult, why? Why would you do that?
Coming from a 17-year-old, that's much more disturbing. One night, my parents left me to watch the house. I was working on a school project when I felt my bed shift a little bit. I looked under my bed.
Ah!
I screamed.
Okay. Okay. It's funny.
As I
You
saw
had to
Joey
show
laying under my bed.
You had to.
I ran
You had to throw in the sound effects.
away
Huh?
while he tried to crawl out from under my bed. I ran to his house and rang the bell at least 10 times, telling his parents about it when they opened the door. Joey never came out of my house, so I called the police. His parents begged me not to, but I ignored them.
Bro, ignore the bitches.
The police found him still in my room and arrested him. Apparently, he admitted this wasn't the first time he had hid under my bed. They also found pictures of me scattered across his room. The most disturbing one was of me sleeping, and it was taken from inside my room.
That is disgusting. Midnight office.
Working the night shift always sucked. I work in an office building and would
Foxtron, you can use profanity in my chat.
constantly do the night shifts since it was the only time it would work out for me. I was just about always the only person on the floor I worked on, possibly in the whole building. There would always be a kind of eerie feeling to being in such a big building with most of the lights out and absolutely no one around. But on the upside, it was peaceful and less stressful, and I was able to get a lot of work done. There was this one night though. It was a Friday night, around 2 in the morning. I was typing away on my keyboard when I heard a noise from outside my cubicle. It sounded like just a random crack from the walls or something. It's unusual in this building, but I didn't get too concerned about it. I resumed typing away and was once again interrupted by a sound. This time, the sound of a computer starting up. It caught me off guard. I was sure nobody else was working the...
Yeah, I've seen this. Hold up. Did you guys see that? I think that's Rick from Rick and Morty. That guy was having the hair like Rick and Morty. The pizza guy.
This happened 4 years ago when I was still in high school. I was told to do my last delivery of my shift. I got in my car, which was a 1999 Camry, perfect for delivering pizzas. I GPSed the address on my phone. I live upstate in the country, so all pizza deliveries were long drives. I remember the sun was starting to set, so it was probably around 7 o'clock. I'd say after a good 15 minutes of driving through the foresty dirt road...
I'll be honest, bud. If I get my own car, and I have to like get a decent job, I think I might apply for some pizza deliveries.
My GPS said I had arrived. It was an old little cottage-like house made almost entirely of wood. It was sitting all by itself in the middle of absolutely nothing but forest. The lawn was completely unkept, as the grass was almost at knee height. I was used to this kind of thing, so I didn't think much of it. I took the pizza to the front door. There was no doorbell, so I knocked loudly on the door. Within 10 seconds, I heard the sound of footsteps hitting wood on the inside of the house. The footsteps made it to the door and stopped. I started to feel uneasy. I got the feeling that I was being watched. And that's when I noticed there was a peephole in the door. "It's the pizza guy," I called out. I heard a low, harsh-sounding voice on the other side of the door, telling me to bring the pizza out back.
No!
I didn't like the idea of going back there. Something didn't seem right. "Are you sure, sir?" I called out. He didn't answer my question. The sound of footsteps didn't move away from the door, so I had the feeling he was still watching me.
Oh my god! I had to show you guys that. Yeah. So a new subscriber, sponsor, super chat, and then we have super chat and donations. I made this special. Oh my god! I love those.
I almost found myself.
So guys, if you donate, you'll get that. You'll get this. Oh my god! I had to make it that because like someone actually gave me dollars.
Walking back to my car,
but I
decided I didn't want any trouble with my boss. The last time I brought a pizza back, he gave me attitude, so I reluctantly walked through the uncut grass and around the small house to the back. I remember there was a shed and a little patio back there. In the patio, there was a table with 4 chairs surrounding it. In one of the chairs, facing away from me, I saw the head of somebody sitting in the seat. I began walking over and said, "Excuse me," but the person didn't even move an inch. "Excuse me," I said again louder. Then from behind me, I heard, "Psst, over here."
No!
I turned around to see a man poking his head out from the corner of the house, looking at me with a crazed smile.
No!
"Come over here. I want to show you something." I freaked out, turned around, and ran around the house in the opposite direction, back to my car, for some reason still holding the pizza. I got in my car, started it, and got away from there. On my way back to the pizzeria, I pulled over to the side of the road and called the police. Eventually, I was informed that there was no sign of anybody having been in that house for a long time.
Oh, hell no.
I quit my delivery job a few days after that. I have no idea what would have happened to me had I gone up to that man, but to this day, I still wish I had just turned my head to see who or what was sitting in that patio chair.
What the fuck? What the hell? Get the hell off my screen! Get the hell off my screen! Oh. Matthew. Okay.
It was during a blizzard in Valley Stream. I was getting paid $250 to watch some couple's kid while they went away for the weekend. His name was Matthew. This took place on the first night, which was a Friday night. Matthew was already supposedly asleep, while I was in the living room watching a movie. I got a knock at the door.
That movie looks so familiar.
And looked at the clock. It was close to midnight. There was no way I was opening it. Not even 10 seconds later, I heard the sound of 2 or 3 men angrily banging on the door, telling me to open up. I felt like my heart was about to stop.
Calm your titties!
I took a peek through the blinds, and there was somebody standing right on the other side of the window.
Ah! God! Ah!
I fell back in fear.
Ah! Why? Why does this hurt? Why does this have to be like this?
You had to throw in the jump scare right there, huh? Just had to.
And after managing to get back on my feet, I ran to the kitchen phone first thing to call the police. They said because of the weather, it could take a while for an officer to get here. I was told to take the child and hide somewhere until an officer arrived. They wanted to keep me on the line, but I wasn't thinking clearly in the heat of the moment and hung up. However, it wasn't until I ran through the living room that I realized the banging had stopped.
Oh, excuse me.
I took a second peek through the living room window. Nobody was there now. I heard the sound of glass shattering from a few rooms over. My knees started to feel weak as I realized they had just broken the window and were about to climb into the house. I had to run and get Matthew. I couldn't just leave without him. Of course, when I got upstairs...
Hold on, guys. I will be right back, okay? Ow. Intermission. Alright, boys. Welcome back.
There was no time left to run back downstairs, as I already heard footsteps and laughter coming from downstairs. I covered Matthew's mouth with my hand as I ran with him into his toy closet. A few minutes dragged on to what felt like half an hour as we sat there in the dark closet. Matthew began to squeal as footsteps on the carpet reached the outside of his bedroom door. There was more than one person. They came inside.
That's what I was saying with my
There
girl
weren't many
soon.
places to hide in this room.
Hold on.
They came inside. There weren't many places to hide in this room. They came inside.
I'll be saying that with my girlfriend later.
There weren't many places to hide in this room. I was actually reflecting on my whole life, so sure I was gonna die. We heard the sound of a police siren outside, even from in the closet, and then I heard one of the men in the room mutter, "Oh shit."
What's your
I opened the door back up as I heard at least 3 pairs of footsteps hurriedly rushing down the stairs.
I feel bad for
They
making
didn't
that
get
joke.
far, as the police later found their footprints in the backyard, leading to our shed. There were 5 men in total, and they were all arrested.
Yeah, this guy's clearly, the moment this guy gets out of jail, he's gonna cut you mother.
This happened when I was 15 years old. My best friend Anthony wanted me to come over for the night, since his parents would be gone all weekend. I rode my bike over and put it in his backyard before letting myself in through his back door. We played basically every video game he had, from FIFA all the way to Call of Duty, with popcorn and other junk food spilled out all over the floor.
Bro, that looks like
As
looks
the
like
night
a Nintendo
progressed,
Switch
we moved
that
from
they're
video
wearing.
games to watching half a movie and getting bored, to doing prank calls at close to 10 o'clock.
I love that. I love
Anthony
doing
made
that.
a few calls to different pizza places. When it was my turn, I just dialed a few random numbers in hopes to get someone at their house. On, say, my 4th attempt, I finally reached somebody. A guy with a deep and rough voice picked up, answering with a yeah instead of a hello. Anthony's laughing in the background made me stumble with my words mid-sentence, ultimately cracking up into laughter. I had never done a prank call, so I sucked at it. The guy on the other end was silent. I regained a straight face and tried to continue with the call. It went something like this. Sir, would it be alright if I borrowed one of the wheels from your car? What's your name, kid? My name is Bob. Really? You sure it's not Anthony?
Oh!
It hit me like a brick. I looked up at Anthony, whose face was noticeably full of fear. I hung up the phone, not wanting to be on the line with whoever that was for another second. Anthony, who the hell was that? I asked him. I don't know, he told me. Does your caller ID info display your name or something?
Everyone's
No.
yelling my name.
Oh, it shows my dad's name.
Banzai.
We hopped on the computer
Boy.
and did some research, trying to figure out how it was possible to get someone's name through their phone number. It didn't
Donna Gahani Poetra. Welcome to the stream, and thank you for the sub.
make sense how he could get Anthony's name so quickly. He was way too young at the time to be on any of those personal information sharing websites. We ended up asking a question on Yahoo Answers, since no one had a similar experience.
I could tell that this story happened a long time ago, because everyone knows that nobody uses Yahoo Answers anymore.
The question turned up no answers. I suggested he call his dad, but he said he wasn't supposed to have anybody over for the weekend, so he didn't want to call.
Oh my god.
We planned on sleeping in the living room, so we just resumed watching the movie that we hadn't finished from earlier. Right after the phone call had left my mind, me and Anthony looked at each other when we heard his front storm door opening, and then the doorknob to the front door began to turn.
No, hell no.
It only was able to turn about halfway before the lock restricted it.
I like how there's no wires connecting the TV. The TV's on, and yet there's no wires being that it's connected to.
Anthony turned off the TV, and I went over to the window to see who it was. I spread the blinds open. There was a
Foxtron,
tall
come
guy
on.
standing
Let them
outside.
do what they want.
He noticed the blinds moving and turned to look at me. I practically threw the blinds back into place. Me and Anthony hid in the kitchen, listening for any more noises. We heard the sound of the gate to the backyard opening, as it was right outside the kitchen window. God damn it, I said. I forgot to shut the back door.
Hold on! You're telling me that the entire time you and Anthony were there for like over hours and planned to sleep over, and you forgot to shut the damn back door? This boy be doing stupid things. This boy be stupid.
Anthony urged me to run and shut it. I made it to the hallway leading to his back door and froze. There was a silhouette standing outside the back door. I don't think he noticed me, but he was surely looking into the house. He opened the door and stepped inside. I tiptoed to the kitchen and motioned for Anthony to follow me upstairs. We made it to... I tiptoed to the kitchen.
I like how the month is October.
And motioned for Anthony to follow me upstairs. We made it to his room as quietly as possible, pulling the door shut to avoid making any noise. We crawled under his bed. He had cloth covering the bottom of his bed, so you couldn't see anything under it unless you actually moved the cloth. The doors downstairs all opened, each one getting closer to the stairs. Thumps finally began up the stairs, and he was right outside the door now. The door to the room opened. I could hear Anthony's breathing. It was too loud. Footsteps moved over to the closet, and then the closet opened. I could hear the coat hangers being slid around as the fabric of the jackets and coats rubbed against each other. Footsteps moved over to the bed and stopped. I felt like my heart was about to explode out of my chest. Anthony's breathing was too loud. I had to cover his mouth with my hand. Sorry, bud.
Every man for himself. I'm gonna run out here.
Nothing but silence in the room now. We laid still for so long, I almost thought he wasn't even in the room anymore. I moved my hand away from Anthony's mouth and whispered in his ear, "You think we can make a run for it?" He was about to answer when the most disturbing, memory-haunting scream I'd ever heard filled my ears as Anthony was seemingly dragged out from under the bed. I crawled out and...
I'm sorry, bud. Every man for himself. I'm getting the hell out of here.
I saw him struggling with the man. I desperately looked around for anything to use as a weapon. I settled with the screwdriver sitting on his nightstand. I hurried over to the man and drove the screwdriver into his back. He let go of Anthony as he let out a scream of agony, giving us time.
Yeah, Foxtron, that is Miss Benny Z Geek, and as a matter of fact, that is actually my ex.
To get the hell out of the house. Running onto the road would give away our position too easily.
Blueberry wasp.
It would take too long to make it to his neighbor's house. We dove for the tree line in the woods and took cover behind a bush, watching the house.
And we got some milk.
The back door opened as the man stepped outside, looking around the backyard.
That is the tallest man I've ever seen in my life.
He then looked out to the woods. I felt his eyes pass me as he scanned through the tree line. It seemed that it was too dark for him to see us. Then, he turned his head back in our direction. I ducked behind the bush. "Joe, he's coming." "What?" "Dude, get up, we gotta run." He was right. The man was approaching us fast. How could he have seen us? We ran through the woods with the leaves crunching under us, giving away our position. When Anthony tripped over something, I crouched down with him, hoping we had run far enough. Not even 20 seconds later, oncoming footsteps from the direction we were running from came fast. They slowed down only 2 trees away from us as we lay face down.
Why did you and Benny break up? It's because I felt like that I had to move on. I didn't want to be with her anymore. I felt like there's plenty of more fish in the sea. Why not? So I was like, you know what? There's plenty more fish in the sea. Guess it's time to move on. So we went ahead and moved on. I went ahead and moved on. And then I fell in love with my now currently over 1 year year-and-a-half girlfriend, Olivia. I will not say her last name. Love her with all my heart. We're both the same age, but she's just a few months older than me.
Moments later, the footsteps take off in another direction.
I was actually in a stream
We
with
waited
her.
until we could no longer hear them and took off back in the direction of the house. While running, over the sound of leaves crushing and my heavy breathing, I could swear I heard leaves crushing from behind us. We made it back to his backyard, into his house, and this time, remembering to shut the back door.
Yeah!
We were now able to call the police. Anthony stayed on the line with them, while I patrolled the back windows, making sure nobody was out there. It was so dark, though, I couldn't see anything. So I did something that seems stupid today. I turned on his backyard lights.
Nightmare, just because that they're a girl, they can also be referred to as gay. Gay does not mean a man, doesn't only mean a man loving the same sex. It's basically when the same sex loves the same sex. And the same gender loves the same gender. That's what gay is. Lesbian's just it's just another term for a girl loving another girl.
I saw him, standing in front of a big tree.
Bro, I would've shot that bitch.
He turned off back into the woods and disappeared out of sight. That was the last time me or Anthony ever saw him. I would be lying if I told you we heard the occasional knocks at our windows or something cliche. No, that was it. 5 years have passed and nothing has happened. Do I wonder if it was somehow linked to the prank call? Maybe. Does it make sense? Not really. But yeah, this was the story of how me and my still best friend Anthony almost died during a break-in.
The honeymoon.
Me and my wife were on our honeymoon in Hawaii. We were on the island of Oahu, sitting on the beach. My wife got up to go to the bathroom, and when she got back, she told me that there was a creepy man watching her walk into the bathroom, and when she tried to walk out, he blocked her path.
Bro, I would've twisted
She
that dude's
only
neck.
got away because there were 2 other people walking into the bathroom, so he got out of the way.
I like it of how she's walking clearly walking out of the female bathroom, and yet there's a female going into the bathroom, and with her boyfriend right next to her.
For what the man looked like, and she looked over, but unfortunately, she said he was gone. Our hotel was walking distance from the beach, so we got back quickly, but we made sure to report the man to a police officer we saw walking on the beach, and then we washed up before going out to eat. We ate at a fancy seafood place and did some walking around afterwards. Close to midnight, we finally went back to the room and began to wind down. Then we got a knock at the door. I looked through the peephole of the door and saw a man in a maid uniform standing outside.
No.
I opened the door and he immediately tried to let himself in. I pushed him back a bit, asking him what he wanted. He told me he left something in the room while cleaning earlier and needed to get it out. The only thing, we left the do not disturb sign on the door all day.
Oh my god. It's the shining carpet.
Then I noticed he was making eye contact with my wife. My wife then screamed, "That's the man." I didn't understand at first, but it was too late for that. The man had already lunged at me, holding my throat with one hand while reaching behind himself with another. He pulled out a knife and started swinging at me, and if it weren't for my wife coming over and smashing his face with the lamp, I would have been as good as dead. The commotion drew out all the inhabitants of the neighboring rooms. One of the women started freaking out and screaming, making the situation worse.
She's from Courage the
We called
Cowardly
the police,
Dog.
and so did the hotel. It turned into a huge, horrible scene, but we were just happy to be alive. We were questioned when the police arrived, and some of the other people around us claimed to have witnessed it all.
I was waiting for like a Here's Johnny joke.
Still don't know what kind of intentions this guy had, but if I had to guess, I would say he wanted to get to my wife. He must have been one very dumb person to think he would get away with something like this in such a public building.
Bitch. Screw the night shifts.
I'll never forget this night. The pizza place I worked at was about to close, and I was getting ready to go home when the phone rang. I was working the counter alone that night, so I was taking calls.
The sizes of the pizzas right here. You know I'm about to make some dirty jokes. I could name them so many. I could name so many dirty jokes, but I'm not gonna.
I picked up the phone. There was complete silence, so I hung up. About a minute later, the phone rings again, so I pick up again. Still silence. I was about to hang up again when I heard the very weak and cold voice of an old woman on the other end. She said she wanted a regular pie delivered. I remained polite on the phone, but on the inside I was screaming. I just wanted to get home and end my shift. I called out to my boss that somebody is requesting a delivery. He told me I had to go. I was upset at first, but I realized it's another tip, and the old ones usually tip the most, so
That's true.
I decided it was okay.
That is true.
I took down the address and told her it would be there soon, but she had already hung up. I thought that was rude, but I ignored it and yelled to the chef that I needed one regular. My boss told me to just go home after the delivery as the place would be closed. So a little before 10 o'clock, I got in my car and put the
Hold up.
delivery
Really? Oddworld, new and tasty?
as the place would be closed. So a little before 10 o'clock,
That's
I got in
clever.
my car and put the address into my
I don't think I
GPS.
finished Oddworld, new and
The
tasty.
house was 7 miles away. The GPS took me to the quiet side of town. I arrived to the house. It was a small, one-floor house on a very quiet and empty block. I took the pizza and walked up to the door and rang the doorbell. There were no lights on in the house. I hoped that she hadn't given me the wrong address. I rang the doorbell again. There was still no answer. I was about to give up when I turned my head and saw somebody standing at the window.
Oh, fuck.
I got a little freaked out and backed up at first, but I eventually got closer to the window to see the person. It was an old woman, probably in her late 70s. She was just staring at me with a blank expression. I yelled to her through the glass that I had her pizza. She didn't react to what I said, so I screamed it louder.
Boy.
A big smile ran across her face. Not a pleasant, genuine smile. It was a smile that sent chills down my spine. I still remember that exact face she made from the window. I decided that I was freaked out enough and got back to my car and set the pizza in the passenger seat.
Yeah, just get
I had to text my boss about this. I shot him a quick text and started my car, ready to get the hell away. I looked to my right to get one more look. Standing right outside my passenger side window, giving me the same stare she had given me before. I put my car in drive and floored it down the street, not looking back. My boss never made me do a late night delivery again.
Dude, I would've... Why? What was the point of that? What was the point of that? Okay. Trick-or-treating stories.
It was Halloween night of 2007, freshman year in high school, and I was with my friends, Ivan, Ryan, and Jesse.
Two things. Either y'all are the lamest people in the world, or y'all some of the coolest. The Mario characters? Really? That's clever.
We were all dressed as the Super Mario characters. I was Luigi since I was the second tallest. Ivan was Mario since he's short and buff. Not that Mario was buff. Jesse was Waluigi because he's freakishly tall and skinny, and Ryan was Wario because he's just really fat. So they were the perfect street costumes for us. We live in a very non-congested suburban neighborhood with a decent amount of space in between houses. On Halloween, that's the worst thing ever. Less bang for your buck. We were trick-or-treating for hours.
You know, they're freshmen, right? And I'm about to be in freshman year, and even I don't go trick-or-treating anymore. But I mean, I think I might go trick-or-treating this Halloween. Cause like, you know why? Free candy. And
It
no
passed dark,
pedophiles.
and eventually came
I
the
hope.
time when most trick-or-treaters were heading home.
When you accidentally call out the wrong name. When you accidentally call out the wrong name during sex. Who the fuck is Waluigi?
My feet started to hurt, and I had to constantly switch arms for holding the now 10-pound pillow sack of candy, but we planned on going until our bags were completely full. A lot of the houses by now weren't answering anymore. It was probably past their cutoff time for giving candy to trick-or-treaters. Approaching our next house, we saw a purple bucket on the stoop, which was the best feeling ever. I was the one to get close enough to realize it was empty, which was the worst feeling ever.
I could tell that he wrote this still when he was a teenager. Because listen to what he says.
Approaching our next house, we saw a purple bucket on the stoop, which was the best feeling ever. I was the one to get close enough to realize it was empty,
which was the worst feeling ever. Clearly he was still a teenager when he wrote this. He's like, if he was a freshman and he's 14 then, he's basically in his mid-20s now.
Approaching our next house, we saw a purple bucket on the stoop, which was the best feeling ever.
I also saw you.
I was the one to get close enough to realize it was empty, which was the worst feeling ever. I turned around when I heard a knock at the window of the house. We all looked at the window. Couldn't see anyone, but heard someone call out, "Wait." The door opened, and an older man, late 40s, already balding, stepped outside.
Rapist.
He told us to come inside so he can get us some more candy.
Rapist.
I said we could just wait out here. He responded saying something along the lines of, "Nonsense, come on in, we'll get you your candy."
Rapist.
Ivan stepped in and said, "It's alright. Come on, Dan, let's go." I told the guy to take care and apologized. He just stood there watching as we walked off, not saying anything. I felt bad, but at the same time, that guy seemed like a creeper, and I figured I just dodged a bullet not going in there.
Yeah, you did.
If the story ended there, it wouldn't be scary. So of course, it didn't end there. We skipped a few of the guy's neighboring houses just to get further away, and continued on with our business. We were walking down close to the nature preserve now.
Oh, is that
so
damn
there weren't many
Mothman?
houses around us. At this point, we were now walking back closer to Jesse's house. I noticed Ryan had stopped walking, and I turned around to see what's up. He said he heard someone moving from behind the trees in the preserve. Now this was before everyone's phones had flashlights, so we couldn't just go searching in the woods for someone. Besides, we were just telling Ryan that it must have been a raccoon or something. You may think this is a bit of a cliche, but when things like this happen in real life, you always assume the more logical possibility. It's just natural. Why would we assume we were being followed?
Foxtron, what do you mean about the story I was telling in Ryan's
I had to
video?
put my arm around Ryan's shoulder and nudge him forward. A little ways down the street, me and Ivan picked up on the sound as well. When we all stopped, the sounds of the footsteps from beyond the trees stopped as well. Ivan yelled at the obvious stalker to go away, or we would beat the shit out of them.
Damn.
I knew he was just bluffing, though. I could hear the nervousness in his voice. The snap of a twig from beyond the trees triggered a fight-or-flight response in all of us. Me, Jesse, and Ryan all ran for it.
Yep.
Ivan was at first charging to attack, but he quickly followed after realizing we had all taken off.
Boy.
We ran down the dark street, and we all noticed the sounds of at least 2 or 3 pairs of footsteps crushing the twigs and leaves in the woods. We banked it hard right down Jesse Street when it finally came up, and ran straight for his backyard, entering his house through the back door. The first thing we did was peek out through his living room window. We couldn't see anyone. We all had to gather our thoughts and discuss what the hell just went down in his living room, when all of a sudden we heard Jesse's backyard gate slam shut.
I found Tim Hawkins
Jesse dove
hilarious.
to turn off the lights. There was a click and a bang from down in the den. It was more than likely Jesse's back door. We all agreed to go down armed with knives and face them. Jesse turned on his back door light, but there was nobody out there. Just then the front door opened, and we all screamed like animals. Jesse's mom and sisters came rushing downstairs. They had just gotten home from their friend's little house party. We all rested assured knowing it was just them.
Boy, why does her
Jesse
sister
explained
look like
what
she just
happened,
got
but
back from
made
a
it seem a lot less
lesbian party?
dramatic. Me and Ivan went home
I'm gonna be honest. Jesse's sister looks like she just got back from a lesbian party.
after that and called it a night.
I'm sorry.
At 12:30 a.m., I got a disturbing text message. It was from Jesse.
Of course, flip phones.
It said, "It wasn't my mom." I texted back saying, "What?" He responded back quickly, saying, "It wasn't my mom in the backyard." My fingers slammed the buttons on my phone, responding back, "What do you mean?" There was a long saying, respond told me that his mom and sisters said they never went in the backyard. I told him to immediately check the backyard from his upper deck. He had already done just that. He also told his mom everything, and she had already called the police. They didn't find anyone back there, but Jesse did mention the guy who invited us in while trick-or-treating. Nothing ever became of that, and nothing ever happened at Jesse's house again after that one Halloween night. You can see some weird things when you're tired, but the thing about this story, I wasn't tired.
I've seen this one. Daryl's Pond. Okay, I've seen that one too, I believe.
Paranoia of being watched through my...
What the f...
The last thing I saw was my alarm clock flashing 12:07 before she pushed her long, rotting nails through my chest, her other hand muffling my screams. I sat bolt upright, relieved it was only a dream, but as I saw my alarm clock read 12:06, I heard my closet door creak open.
Oh my god! That's
Growing up
terrifying.
with cats and dogs, I got used to the sound of scratching at my door while I slept. Now that I live alone, it's much more unsettling.
Oh. What?
I begin tucking him into bed and he tells me, "Daddy, check for monsters under my bed."
I'm gonna be like that when
I
I'm
look
a father.
underneath for his amusement and see him, another him, under the bed, staring back at me, quivering and whispering, "Daddy, there's somebody on my bed." I always thought my cat had a staring problem. She always seemed fixated on my face, until one day when I realized that she was always looking just behind me.
What the f... Is this Santa Claus? Still more of this. There's still more of this. Craigslist for a story. Yeah, I could tell from that one when I saw this animation. Yep, I saw that one. Hey, Jimmy Duran. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Avery Lopez, welcome. Yeah. That was clearly The Grudge, or The Ring. That's what it was. It's a Clockwork Orange. These are from Pizza Delivery Stories 1. Oh, and I did not notice that. Yeah, I figured that does look kind of like The Shining. Yeah, Yeah, this is clearly, that whole story is clearly a reference to The Shining. Yeah, I knew that was Muriel. Oddworld. Yeah, I figured. Yeah, I immediately knew what all those were. Portal. What? Really? Really? Even 2016? That was 2 years ago. Yeah, yesterday was Friday the 13th. You did not notice that? Hey, look. It's on my stream. On my stream. Okay. Hold on. 2-sentence horror story. Yeah. There's 50 of them. Oh my god. Scrubbing my hands non-stop for weeks. The blood just won't... Whoa! Okay, okay. Let's give this a shot. $0. Yeah.
Number 1.
Oh god, this is by Let's Read. This guy's even more terrifying than Mr. Nightmare.
Pleasant dream. When what sounded like... Number 1. I was having a pleasant dream when what sounded like hammering woke me. After that, I could barely hear the muffled sound of dirt covering the coffin over my own scream. Number 2. I woke up to hear nothing.
Bruh, whoever animated this did an amazing job.
I thought it was the window. Until I heard it come from the mirror again. Number 3.
Dude, I don't think I can do this.
There was a picture in my phone of me sleeping. I live alone.
Bro, you had that party last night. So,
Number
and you
4.
let your friend borrow your phone. It's
My
not really that
wife
scary.
woke me up last night to tell me there was an intruder in our house. She was murdered by an intruder 2 years ago. Number 5. I never go to sleep.
Hey, that's the life.
But I keep waking up.
Whoa!
Number 6. The last thing I saw was my alarm clock flashing 12:07 before she pushed her long, rotting nails through my chest, her other hand muffling my scream. I sat bolt upright, relieved it was only a dream. But as I saw my alarm clock read 12:06, I heard my closet door creak open.
Dude, I think I would be good at narrating some of these.
There's nothing like the laughter of a baby.
Yeah.
Unless it's 1 a.m. and you're home alone.
Dude, no.
Number 8.
Dude, my baby cousin's here, and like, if that happens, my baby cousin is here, and if I'm actually home alone, and it's 1 a.m. in the morning, and I hear a baby laughing, I'm gonna jump out the window, understand?
I begin tucking him into bed, and he tells me, "Daddy, check for monsters under my bed."
I've seen this one, yeah. We've seen this
I look
one.
underneath for his amusement, and see him, another him, under the bed, staring back at me, quivering and whispering,
Daddy,
there's somebody
on my bed. Oh my god!
I always thought my cat had a staring problem.
Bro, your cat's got
She
some night
always
vision
seemed
goggles.
fixated on my face. Until one day, when I realized that she was always looking
Santa Claus
just behind me.
I think this is a possessed video.
Number 10. A girl heard her mom yell her name from downstairs. So she got up and started to head down. As she got to the stairs, her mom pulled her into her room and said,
I heard it too.
No! 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 Get the hell out of here!
Stay in here and don't make a sound.
Sorry guys, I got terrified.
Down.
Okay, guys, alright. I have myself some hard cider. Yes. Now look. It may look like I'm drinking underage, but trust me, it's not that much, okay? I am drinking. And my cousin is older. She is 20. She's in her mid-20s. She's allowing me to drink this, okay? I need this. All right. Okay. I'm going to take a shot every time I get scared.
Got to the stairs. Her mom pulled her into her room and said,
I heard it too.
Damn it!
Stay in here and don't make a sound.
I just saw a cross right there. What you need is that cross on the wall over there. This is fucking terrifying. Oh, by the way, guys, this isn't hard cider. This is just apple cider. This isn't alcohol. I'm not at legal age to drink yet. I still got seven more years until I am at legal age to drink. I would not drink this unless I had like an adult supervising me. This is your fate. That just might single-handedly be the scariest thing I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna start reacting to some memes. Memes. I heard that this was the most popular one. Okay, try not to laugh challenge. My dad would find that funny.
Oh my god. You fucking kids! I've got places to be!
That's nice. What does it say?
God!
Rye hates that word. And I hate it too. Oh no! No, 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 I think I know what this is. Please tell me this isn't the 9/11 joke. God damn it! Excuse me. Excuse my language, please. I'm sorry, I was just angry that they put that 9/11 joke in there. I will not laugh.
What do you do? I do parkour. You do? I do parkour. Get it!
Playing football blind.
Anything's possible.
What the fuck is going on? Fuck!
This one just is so funny. It's that one's it's messed up, but it's so funny.
Fuck!
Fuck.
What the fuck is taking so long?
Savage. Still don't cuss, guys.
Remy, sit. Speak.
Fuck!
Good boy.
Button up your pants, faggot.
I think this is gonna be my last video in the night.
I will demonstrate for you my abilities in the art of self-levitation.
Self-levitation my ass.
I mean, I know I'm gonna get got. But I'm gonna get mine more than I get got, though. You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
Is that Muhammad Ali?
You can't touch this.
I think it is. Rest in peace, soldier. Rest in peace, Badood. Oh, I'm gonna do that to my kid one day.
Keep your shirt on.
No.
full of gloves. I don't give a damn.
Oh, fuck!
Okay.
You guys say Colorado.
To talk to a customer, please press 1.
Curtis. She actually did it.
What do you think? Oh, now you know I ain't allowed to think.
Oh my god.
What the fuck, Richard?
Anybody with the name Richard is stupid. If anybody's name is Richard in the chat, don't. So evil.
At the show.
No!
The way he just runs away is great. But I'm not gonna laugh. I didn't laugh. And that's one big chicken. And I'm not talking about the chicken. I'm talking about this dude.
No!
Basically just saved his life.
Fuck! 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 Oh!
Stop waving your banana in my face. I don't even want it. Whoop! Just kidding. I got it. Whoop!
What to use VideoPad or VideoLeap? Much better than whatever I'm using. Benny, I am using Sony Vegas Pro. I use VideoPad and it's useless. Sony Vegas is a bit easier. I'm gonna be switching to Adobe soon. Adobe Premiere.
A few minutes later, the bear was spotted behind this home in Moreland Hills. This recreation identifies how witnesses say the bear escaped into the woods.
Pretty much everywhere, it's gonna be hot. Janet?
Then I don't need a jacket. Thanks, Arthur. Thanks, Arthur.
This is why Mom doesn't fucking love you! I've seen that one before.
Hey, Ron. Hey, Billy.
So is it...
The guy just like collapses through the roof.
Hey, Ron. Hey, Billy. That hurt.
He collapses through the roof. And they just like talk casually. As if it's just like it's an everyday thing. Like, he just falls through the roof and then just like, hey Ron, hey Billy, that hurt.
So is it...
That's not funny. He could have died. But look at this. Look at this. I know he's okay because he just...
Hey, Ron. Hey, Billy.
When he broke through the roof, I was concerned for his safety, but then when they just started casually talking, I broke down in tears of laughter. Oh my god.
So is it any wonder people are afraid of technology?
Technology!
There.
What the is this?
Watch your profanity.
Right, I'm sorry.
Still funny.
Ah, monkey on the car.
Monkey on the car.
Fuck off.
Oh, no.
Aw.
Get the wheels on the bus!
So basically, what I was thinking of was, oh fuck, I can't believe you've done this.
I made a joke of that actually.
Even the babies are one of the most dangerous animals in the world, so I built this cage to keep them secure, so there's no possible. Oh my god.
There's no way that's real. Aww. Nice, Ron. I sneeze. Oh, I'm not allowed to sneeze.
Jacket.
I like this. Curb Resort. What the hell is this? Benny, you want to see my editing at its finest?
What the f are you looking at?
I remember editing this during Christmas time. This is so fun to upload. This is so fun to make. This is my editing. I haven't played Siege in a long time. Well, I mean,
You're the last
hey.
one. Complete the mission.
Yeah, this is my video. Look how I got that kill. Right through the wall. Calculated. Nade. I had so much fun making this. Please, I have ray gun. I'm probably about to get a copyright claimant because of the music I use in this, but I don't care.
Enemy spotted.
Oh my god! I've got you in my sights. Totally did not steal that joke. I played the anthems of each of the operators' countries. You Dako memes, okay?
User left your channel.
You're the last one. Complete the mission.
Oh my god, this is I think I lost this one, did I? Or I think I won. Oh my god. Yeah, he still blinded me even though I was nowhere in sight.
Got him!
Got that blitz. I think I might start uploading,
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
I'm still mad I lost that game.
Oh, let's break it. Damn!
Dude, I love making these. Oh my god, this is before Ella got nerfed. 3 kills right off the bat. An ace with Ella on the first minute? Really? That was way before Ella got nerfed. Oh. I calculated that shot very carefully. I had somehow managed to keep this music in sync with the fast forwarding, and I didn't even realize it.
Some serious drywall work coming. Not up in here!
This wasn't it. This is during Operation Health.
Enemy spotted.
Oh my god, that was when the crosshairs turned red on an enemy.
Don't run away from me!
I just realized Ash was having a seizure. Look at this.
Don't run away from me!
User left your channel.
Oh my god, I remember when I clutched this. I used to use laser sights all the time. I'm pretty sure this was during Velvet Shell. Yeah, this was during... No, this was during Health. This was during Operation Health. Bro, I can't play Siege the same anymore, because the old Siege is best Siege. But now, I can't play Siege anymore and feel the good jiggy with it. Because it's been over a year since I started playing Siege again. Dude, I had so much fun making that. See you later, Foxy the Pirate. Oh yeah, Anthony Pitt 1. I was inspired by this awesome dude. Oh my god. Oh, this video ended up in a dank meme compilation.
Alright, let's see if he built a tunnel down here somewhere. Okay, let's use a diamond. Ah!
Oh, here's mine.
Heads up! Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
Dude, watch out!
It's
This
come-
could land.
Oh my god.
It's
hitting tilted!
Yes!
I remember when I streamed this on June 30th.
Wait, what?
I had so much fun filming this.
Whoa, look.
That's a black hole. That's a black hole. What? No. What? It's coming for us! It's coming for us!
What is going on?
Jeez! Whoa!
probably about to get a copyright strike for this, but I don't care. Oh yeah, here we go. Brachiosaurus call. I loved it so much when I made that. I'm not gonna play this because obviously YouTube's gonna immediately delete my video because I used content from Disney. Alright, here you guys go. Here's some videos of mine. Actually, you know what? No, hold on. Avery Lopez, let's take a look at yours. Alright, let's take a look at your memes.
Well, there's only one thing left to do. What? What are you doing? What I should have done all along. Super Suctioneers away! I am that
Oh my god! Oh my kidding me!
I'm hungry. I've got to go to the bathroom. I'm coming home now.
Really? That joke, really? Here you guys go. Enjoy my video! This one is the longest project I've ever put together. Good night, Benny. Ooh!
Hostage was killed.
I already did try not to get scared. Please stop asking me to do try not to get scared, Foxtron. It's so hard for me to be able to make these now because the USB that I had to be that I could use to copy my clips onto the computer is not working properly, and now I had to resort to this USB, and it turns out the PS4 doesn't even support this USB.
10 seconds to insertion.
I just fell through the map. What the heck?
I remember when Link said that.
Go on, go on, go on.
What was that death scream, homie? What was that?
LMG mounted and loaded. My work is done. Time to pack it up.
Why I stick to party chat.
Oh my god! Whoa! Holy.
Get up.
Zofia can pick herself up.
Kill him.
Idiot.
Oh my god. I was trying to shoot a drone.
About the interrogate. I fell through the map! I swear to God! I swear to God!
Shut up!
Guys teabagging. Ha! This is back when Ben and Jaeger had an ACOG. Look at that. Full health.
Operation Health is basically a 3-month period of time that we're going to be taking in order to fixing and repairing the game.
Liar, liar, plants for hire.
As well as investing in core technologies and online techs to make sure that the game is as long-lasting as possible.
Well, you would know, liar.
I've seen all this guy.
Nope.
Ha! I still made an editing mistake.
Drop the diffuser.
Oh my god.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out.
Oh. Come here, Carb.
You finna die.
Come here.
Can you get a kill on defense round though? That's the question. That's the real question.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. You want another one? You want another one? You want another one? I know you want that last one.
Beef him up, dude.
Oh no!
Enemy.
Heroes never die.
Nope.
I'd have pissed if you missed it.
Oh, this is during the rain. I'm pretty sure we lost that round. Ha!
Oh, I'm scared.
Chrome, believe in yourself.
This is a Call of Duty player.
Like Call of Duty, okay? I'm just throwing it out there. This is nothing like Call of Duty.
I'm sorry. Oh my god.
No,
You are
fine.
in the clutch ace situation, bud. The hardest.
We've been having.
That was a good try. That was a good try.
That was a great try.
We were having so much fun that day.
But you just started spamming the deagle, and she has an even worse recoil than your pistol.
I don't know what I was thinking when I did that.
A few moments later.
Okay.
Okay. Right? god, I remember this. I remember when I filmed this. I was so pissed. I got knifed through the dang mirror shield. So yeah, this glitch was a thing. Yeah. Yeah, I got a direct hit on that one.
Jaeger, just come down.
I really like the edit I made here. Laugh. I love his laugh.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Kavira was right here in front of me. What?
And he was team killed.
I know, he's right side. Woo! There we go! Woo!
What you say?
This is when I just began my Siege career. I was a noob.
What you say?
Okay. Whoa! What the?
I think I was. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I was drunk when I filmed this.
Whoa! What the?
I was with Gator right there, Evan2K4, and I'm pretty sure I was talking in a drunken mood. I'm pretty sure I was drunk. Even though I never drank any alcohol, I was just somehow studded.
Hi there.
I have this stuff on loop. Well, anyways, guys, thank you for tuning into the stream. I'm probably going to continue doing reaction streams more often, since a lot of more people are wanting to see a lot more of reaction videos than reaction streams than gaming streams. So if you guys want me to continue doing this, then let me know and I'll start doing some reaction streams for you guys. Look, Foxtron, I've already seen the Zany Gmod videos I've been, but I gotta get going. So, anyways, guys, if you enjoyed, make sure to comment, like, and/or subscribe. Share my channel with your friends. Help me get up to 10,000 subscribers. I know we can get there. I know we're gonna get there eventually. Maybe next year, maybe 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, maybe even a decade. But either way, I thank you guys for being my fans. So anyways, guys, as always, stay awesome, continue sieging, and continue Fortnite building. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.